with the manipulated nominal prices on silver, it maintained your ability to buy the same goods and services between 1913 and 2024. But we have to have a statewide movement to legalize gold and silver as legal tender once again and force the federal government to our will, like it was in the Constitution, where the individual was the head, supported by the states, and the federal government was supposed to support the states that were supposed to support the individuals. What a flipping concept. I don't think that we're really seeing all of the debt that we're actually dealing with. And the system is not designed to pay off that debt, because then that would take dollars out of the system. So there's really only one way for that to go, and that is north. And when you have all of that debt, you have to pay all of that interest. And we've been compounding interest for such a long time now. And anybody with a credit card that doesn't pay off any of the principal, let alone all of the interest, knows that once that interest starts compounding, you ain't ever getting out of debt. Period. And the 2 and 10 yield curve started to revert, right? That is not a good sign. My question is that intentional or unintentional? Not really. Are they behind the 8 ball? Because of course they are. But they also need a huge crisis to push their agenda forward. When you had gold that was part of the monetary system, it created fiscal responsibility because it created limitations on how much debt can be grown. That's not, we haven't had gold to create and force fiscal responsibility, honestly, since 1913. Look at the value of the currency in terms of purchasing power going back to then, and you can see how much more money was cut and created as they started to reduce the backing of gold. I mean, it used to be this little 1/20th of an ounce of gold backed a dollar bill. Well, then 1913, it was $2. This one little 20th of an ounce of gold backed $2.40, right? And then ultimately by 1971, after there was a massive run on the dollar, no backing at all. So, it's just about promises to get elected. It is not about fiscal responsibility. What do I need to say to get you to vote for me? I have to do it once I'm in there, or maybe I will do it and just grow the debt more, because when you know you're going bankrupt, and if you're given another credit card, or if you still have room on your credit cards, what do? You charge. And frankly, they know that this currency has to reset. So why not? I want fiscal responsibility, right? I want sound flipping money to protect my purchasing power, because I have to work for those dollars that they can just eliminate the value of, and quite honestly, were they ever really fighting inflation? That's garbage. They create this, and wow, after all of this, why look at the economy, it's so strong. No, it's all this crap that's been sloshing around in the system since 2008. It has to go somewhere. It doesn't just evaporate, and there's so much cheap money yet in the system. And so they wonder why they're tightening, right? Didn't really work. And look at the nominal price of the stock market. It's because of all of this money printing. We've been trained to think that the stock market reveals the true underlying part of the economy and how the economy is really doing. But quite honestly, you can see since 1971 how the system has been systematically financialized. In other words, having absolutely everything turned into a financial trading piece of garbage. I'm sorry, but it just is, right? It's about Wall Street trading. It's about bank trading. FD flippin' IC insured banks. They make most of their revenue through trading. And they use our deposits to do that with. The day of the dollar's dominance are absolutely done. And quite honestly, we've been moving in this direction since 99. I mean, the euro was created to take over for the dollar. It's not doing very much better, quite honestly, but every single fiat currency is at the same place with virtually no purchasing power, reliant solely on the confidence of the public, because the public cannot help. This is what they knew when they created this system. Cannot help but think that the currency must regain some of its purchasing power, but it never, ever, ever does. So yeah, the dollar is done. The dollar has been done for a while. I mean, do we really need a Federal Reserve? Not if we have sound money, we don't need a Federal Reserve. Not if fiscal responsibility is required. And quite honestly, I'm watching Zimbabwe and what they're doing there by backing their currency with gold, right? To try and regain that public confidence. And yet, since they made that the new ZIG, the sixth currency, it's not convertible. So what Lynette Zang as president would do would be to make the currency convertible into gold once again. Because that is the only way to hold a government's toes to the fire. And I don't mind doing that. That's why I give everybody the links to all my research on the YouTube channel, right? Don't take my word for it. Do your own due diligence, but that's what I would do. We've got to reset the currency. There's no avoiding that. There's no such thing as a soft landing because the system has been so sorely abused, misused, and taken over that it has to reset. It has to. But there's something else that I would do, which is grow a whole lot more food in this country. Food becomes the single biggest issue for people. And if they are hungry and hopeless and they can't feed their children, you're going to get revolution. So I suggest a quiet revolution. And I suggest so strongly that people become their own central bank by taking this garbage that has absolutely zero value and converting it into sound money.